Zelda is coming out in March. Okay, so we've heard quite a few clashing sources at this point. Laura Kate Dale basically came out now and has said that she's hearing from another source that it seems like Zelda is coming out, Breath of the Wild is coming out in March, and I think this is happening now because she has seen the marketing pictures that we've all seen, where it looks like Breath of the Wild is being advertised to come out in March alongside the Switch, which completely contradicts the rumors from sources that we've heard from Emily Rogers and Laura Kate Dale. Laura Kate Dale did say that her sources were from Nintendo of Europe, essentially, and of course, her new source from Nintendo of America is saying that it is coming out in March. This could mean, guys, that it is actually coming out in the US in March, but maybe not at other parts of the world. It's not uncommon for games to have staggered releases throughout the world. For example, I remember the PS4 came out in the US before it did in Japan. It's common. But I have to imagine that Zelda is such an important release for Nintendo, especially alongside this new system that is different from everything else they've really done, and Zelda is their big game. That's like their Halo, that's their Uncharted. That's their biggest game that they really have right now. They've spent so much time and energy. I mean, an entire E3 was dedicated to this one game. They put it on Fallon. They put it on the Game Awards. At this point, it has to come out in March. It has to come out alongside the Switch. It's going to help sell it. Now, Emily Rogers came out and said that she has information about like Zelda, Mother 3, Joy-Cons, all that stuff. I feel like Laura maybe got wind of this or saw this and decided to come out and say that she has a Nintendo of America source now that is saying March release. That's fine. Honestly, these people that we're hearing this stuff from, they're hearing it from other people. So it's very possible that the places they're hearing these leaks from, maybe they're not 100% sure either, because it's very possible that companies will change their mind about different things. That's not like uncommon. Maybe Nintendo realized that they can get this game out in time for the Switch release, or maybe it's been playing that way the whole time and her sources were hearing things differently, or maybe they were just wrong. So, yes, it looks like Laura is backpedaling, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's just an unfortunate situation that she heard something from somewhere. They were wrong, maybe, or maybe they misheard their information, and now the marketing and everything is pointing to a March release, which is good for people who want the Switch, people who want Zelda. I want to play Zelda. That's probably the one game on that system I want to play right now. More so than Mario, more so than anything. I want to play this new Zelda game because I feel like I'm going to dump tons of hours into it, and it'll probably not leave my Switch for a long time. Mostly because for a lot of the other third-party games, I have PS4, Xbox One, and my PC. So if there is a third-party game that I want to play on my, on PS4, I'll play it on there. Even if it comes to the Switch, unless it's a game that I feel like I will have a better time playing portably, maybe like an RPG or something that I can play on the couch upstairs. But for the most part, third parties I'll probably get on my PS4. Like I said, unless it would benefit me playing it as a handheld. RPGs come to mind because of all the grinding you usually have to do. But Zelda will be in my Switch for a while, and I want that at launch. If it's coming out at launch, which I completely believe at this point. You know what? I've had this gut feeling for a while that Zelda has to make that launch date with the Switch because it will push it. It worked well for the Wii originally because we had Twilight Princess that came out. And I'm going to tell you guys now, this Wii U version is going to come out probably alongside it. Obviously, they're not going to stagger that release. That makes no sense. Make sure, if you have a little extra money, I'm going to tell you now, buy Breath of the Wild on the Wii U and just leave it sealed. I have a feeling that will become a rare game over time, mostly because the Wii U system itself is already becoming hard to find. So I could see Breath of the Wild on the Wii U becoming rare. Keep it sealed as a collector. Could be a cool item. I wish I had done that for Twilight Princess on the GameCube because that game is actually pretty hard to find now, and it being sealed would make it even more rare. It'd be a pretty cool collector's item. Emily Rogers apparently is coming out with something about Zelda. There's nothing else that we need to know about Zelda other than release date. I feel like she will come out and say, yes, it is coming out in March. We'll see it at the presser. That'll probably be one of the biggest things they will just hammer out right away. March release Zelda, March release Switch. Pick them both up same day. Go to town. And guys, I wouldn't lay into Laura too much here because honestly, we don't know who's right and wrong right now. I could tell you right now, Zelda is coming out in November or December, and I would be right until Nintendo says otherwise at the presser. So I wouldn't lay in them too much. They're just trying to get us information they're hearing from other people, and I'm sure sometimes those people are wrong. It happens. So until we know officially from Nintendo that yes, Zelda's coming out March, I wouldn't give them too much of a hard time. And there's been more discussion about the Nintendo Switch's power. Going back to the subreddits in a Nintendo Switch, I kind of noticed this also when people were talking about this like profile that came out for the Nintendo Switch with Unreal Engine 4, where they're talking about like different settings that would change when it was in dock mode or portable mode. And the way they would kind of grade that is there were numbers that you would pick 2, 1, or 0, and it would change depending on like what is going on, whether it's portable or whether it's docked. Those numbers generally mean like, for example, high, medium, and low. A low being 0 generally is what it's regarded as, and then medium is 1, high is 2. Now, according to this profile that people were talking about that was released, or at least allegedly released, again, we still don't know anything because it's not coming from Nintendo, it's not coming from NVIDIA, but allegedly released, it shows that the Switch portable unit would have a setting of 1 for a lot of it. Some of it would be kind of turned off completely at 0, but a good portion of it was running at 1. And then when docked, a lot of it was, those were then changed to 2. And a lot of people kind of looked at that and said, okay, 0 just means off, and then there's low, and then there's high. Actually, that's not true. It's high, medium, low. So when it is undocked and portable, Unreal Engine 4 technically runs at medium. And then when it's docked, it runs at high, which is interesting because portable, from what we see with these frequencies and everything, those tell us that that would not be possible pretty much. I don't see how it would be able to run at medium when undocked unless there was something we're missing. I've said that before. I think there is something we're missing here because docked at high is fine because they could jam a lot of power through there. But even then, the frequencies on dock weren't that serious from Eurogamer either. I feel like, I'm going to say it again, I think their frequencies might be wrong. I think they may have this from a source that is not in any way part of what the Nintendo Switch is going to reflect when it comes out. Now, do I think it's going to be as powerful as the PS4? No, I don't. I don't think it's going to be as powerful as PS4 because if that was the case, it would have been done by somebody already. That's just the way it is. But I think that it will rival the Xbox One power. I do. And I think it'll be able to do a lot of advanced stuff that maybe the Xbox One can't do. That's the other thing. Graphical settings, things like that. So keep that in mind. It is actually running medium presets when it is portable mode, which seems to be people's biggest fear. Yes, it'll be fine at dock, but when it comes off portable, is it going to be less powerful than a Wii U? Is it? You see some comparisons where it's comparing it to like a PS1 game when it's undocked. Guys, I don't think that's the case at all. They want there to be parity between either side so you can take it with you. I just think that it will run things at lower presets, but it'll look fine because, of course, you're not playing it on a 50-inch TV at that point. You're playing it on a 6.3-inch screen. And this becomes more apparent after today when we get a little more information about the Unreal Engine with the Switch from an actual source. So, of course, after the big announcement of the Switch a little while ago, Unreal Engine did come out with a tweet basically saying, we're thrilled to partner with Nintendo to help Unreal Engine 4 developers bring their games to Nintendo Switch, and that was, of course, on October 20th. And now we have a little more information from basically a territory manager for Epic Games in Japan. This person's name is Takayuki Kawasaki, and they are, like I said, territory manager for Epic Games Japan. So they have a little, obviously, more information than we do about all of this, but they were kind enough to kind of give us a little insight here. So during an interview with Social VR Info, he basically says that, yes, the Switch does support, obviously, the Unreal Engine 4, and there's actually a lot of games right now being developed and then are going to come to the Switch. So games that have been developed prior are being basically ported to the Switch or just moving over to the Switch because, according to them, according to other people, it's actually not very difficult to get these games onto the Switch. I think a lot of these people, maybe these companies, thought it would be harder considering it's a handheld also. But apparently, according to a lot of people, it's not difficult. Moving this stuff over is because it's Unreal Engine going from one to the other. The presets are already there. There's, again, some tinkering needs to be done. Maybe you don't have shadows as detailed when it's in handheld mode as opposed to dock mode. You have things like that, little things. Grass is different. Water reflections. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff you have to play with to get that frame rate acceptable. And side note, what's really cool here, Dragon Quest XI will be using Unreal Engine 4. This tells me, personally, that the Switch will probably be getting that PS4 version that we saw. And honestly, if the PS4 version is ready to be shown, I would be shocked if we don't see Dragon Quest XI in some way, gameplay or playable form, at the Switch presser January 12th. So guys, that's it for now. I just wanted to talk about, like I said, the Zelda Breath of the Wild. I personally think is in March, and then Unreal Engine 4. A little more credence to the power of the Switch. A little less proof for Eurogamers frequencies. Again, maybe they got that from a source that they believe. Maybe it's not right. We see now sources change all the time. You know, all of a sudden Breath of the Wild for months now not coming out in March. All of a sudden coming out in March. Who knows? You know, who knows? Maybe the Switch isn't that frequency that, you know, maybe it's not running those frequencies Eurogamer put out. Maybe that's possible, considering the internet was on fire about 3 weeks ago about it. So 2 weeks, actually. Don't believe everything, guys. Like I said, get excited for Zelda. Be excited for the Switch. That's coming soon. Also, I will talk about Obi-Wan's leak with VR probably later on tonight if you're interested in that. I want to kind of talk about resolution of VR. We kind of break down why the Switch may be struggling with this Resident Evil VR gameplay. So I'll see you guys next time.